Greetings. It's the date we're looking at is the 23rd of December of the year 1999. It's Thursday afternoon. We're at Maxwell Air Force Base in the state of Alabama, right in southern Alabama, right outside the city of Montgomery, Alabama. On this day, a special day for me, I'm about to retire from the Air Force. I know, after almost 22 years, I think 21 years and 9 months or something like that. I had just rounded off the 22 years of service. I enlisted in the Air Force in May of 1978. As a matter of fact, I went in on the delayed enlistment program in April, on the 4th of April of 1978, and I didn't go to basic until around the 16th or 17th of May of 78. But either way, that delayed enlistment time counted toward my time in service for pay purposes, they were telling me. So nonetheless, we'll just round it off the 22 years of faithful and honorable and faithful service to the United States Air Force and to my country. So today culminates all those years. On this day, this special day, what you're looking at is the kind of like the classroom or conference room or one of the meeting gathering rooms where they have like meetings. Yeah, it's like a meeting room or an auditorium. Yeah, inside of the 42nd Security Forces Squadron at Maxwell Air Force Base. I was an SP or Security Forces person or security policeman for the entire time I was in the Air Force. I'm proud to say. So a lot of people don't make it that far in that field. It's a tough career field to be in, but I feel good, and I'm proud to say that I did make it all the way from the beginning to the end. So that's a good thing, and I feel pretty good about that. The ceremony hadn't started yet. We're still waiting for some of the folks to get in. My wife Gloria and I got there a little bit early to set up the camera and wait for the folks to come in so that we can have everything ready. Now, unfortunately for the video camera, the camcorder, the audio portion of it is not working. It was not working right. The sound was distorted, so what I had to do in the computer system was remove the sound, just mute the sound, and I dubbed the music into the video. And right now, in the computer, I'm narrating the entire event so that you can kind of understand and follow along with what's going on. Now, the gentleman you're looking at right now in the service dress uniform, you see him in just a moment. Not that guy there, but the other one, all suited up, was my supervisor at the time. His first, yeah, right there on the left. His first name was Joe. Can't remember his last name. A senior master sergeant type, and good supervisor. Definitely enjoyed working for him. And I think that's Gloria up there in the front. Yeah, that's her. Not her, but the other one. Yeah, to the left. And she's waiting for the folks to come in. Of course, we have some of the other officers in the squadron, NCOs, different ones. The commander calls it a rent a crowd. Oh, there's me. There's me walking up there now. So right now, we're not ready yet. We're just trying to get everything ready, get the room prepared, and I'm shaking hands, I think, with the chaplain. I think that's the chaplain in the squadron or the base, or some other important person. So we're just kind of conversing, you know, exchanging pleasantries, that sort of thing, and just getting ready. Now, I chose for that particular venue to wear the service dress uniform. Not my favorite uniform to wear. I'm more of a BDU kind of guy. I'm, you know, more or less casual. But I thought my sister Patricia and brother Freddie were coming in to witness this retirement ceremony. So they asked me to wear my service dress. But of course they didn't show up, and so I got kind of stuck with the fact that I opted for the service dress uniform. And that's okay. No big deal. No big deal. I mean, it was it was the spirit of the occasion. That's what's important. The fact that I'm finally finishing up my career. I thought this day would never come. I mean, it seemed like a long time. But looking back over it, I got to say the years did go by pretty fast. I think while I was actually doing the years of service, they seemed slow in real time when you're doing them. But when you look back after it's all said and done, I have to say that it did go by real fast. I mean, it just zipped by. It zipped by, and frankly, I don't know where the time went. Still waiting. I'm still milling around, making sure I have the video camera set up correctly. I hate that I couldn't get the audio for it. It was a good ceremony. I mean, it wasn't bad. As ceremonies go. I'm not one much for all that kind of stuff, but yeah, you know, it's something that's part of our military traditions. It's something that we do. And I feel blessed that I was there, that I was able to be there to participate in that, and that I made it that far. That was a blessing. So believe me, I'm grateful. No complaints. Some of the folks are starting to come in now, and that's good. Yeah, there's Gloria walking back toward the camera. Isn't she not looking nice and purty? So we're still waiting. And there's my boss, Senior Master Sergeant. Can't remember his name. But anyway, that was the Senior Master Sergeant that I worked for. And he's waiting for the folks to come in too. He wants to make sure everything is situated correctly. Now in another room in the squadron building in the police security forces headquarters, they have some food and drink, you know, hors d'oeuvres, I guess some potluck, whatever you want to call it. And we'll be partaking thereof after the actual ceremony itself. So we're just waiting for that. And we're waiting to get started. Remember, the year is 1999, the month of December. In fact, we were just about 7 days from the beginning of the millennium. A lot of people were anticipating that the computer systems are going to crash because of the Y2K virus everybody's looking forward to having to deal with. Now, luckily it didn't happen, but we were all anticipating that something really, really bad would happen. So I wanted to make sure that I got this out of the way before we turn to the new millennium. The turn of the century, the millennium, or whatever you want to call it. I want to make sure this is done. As a matter of fact, it's mind-boggling to know that just 7 days later, the century was going to turn. We're going to enter into a brand new century. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. Yeah, really. So I wanted to make sure that we're back in Shreveport by the time the century turned, the century clock turned to the year 2000, because we didn't know what was going to happen, and I didn't want to be anywhere near anywhere else other than home in Shreveport when that happened. So that's why I opted for that particular day. I wanted to make sure we got this out of the way. After the commander signed my papers and released me from active duty, the next day, or maybe the day after that, Gloria and I were on the road heading back to Shreveport. And believe me, we're happy to get out of there. It's not that we didn't like it there, it's just that we didn't know what was going to happen with that Y2K thing. We didn't know what kind of chaos there might be. We were afraid that we may not be able to get food or gasoline or essential supplies. I mean, we didn't know what to expect. So we wanted to be settled back home, or Gloria's home, Shreveport, before anything like that happened. Thank God nothing happened, but at that time we didn't know nothing was going to happen. Everything was just the same as it was. As far as I know, I don't know of any major disruptions that happened after the millennium changed over. After New Year Day. Same old, same old. Now that was my sponsor, that guy right there that's moving, Sergeant Quarles, I think his name was, Master Sergeant type. When we got to Maxwell in January of 1999, he kind of showed us around the different restaurants or different places to go, and he did a pretty good job, so we were grateful there. We didn't really need a whole lot of help, but he did help us somewhat. And my buddy right there, that guy, can't remember his name, but he was a 100% conservative. He did not like tree-hugging liberals, according to him. So that's where he's coming from. Well, that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own political beliefs. I think that was his wife right there, I think. A lot of these folks, their names I can't remember right now. You figure 1999, how many years ago was that? That was, what, 15 years ago, so yeah, it's kind of hard to remember some of those names. Yeah, we're almost there. Almost there. Still getting ready. Yeah, the crowd's starting to gather now, so it shouldn't be too much longer. I recognize a lot of those faces, but unfortunately I can't put names to those faces right now. The names escape me. And I feel kind of badly I can't remember my supervisor's last name. I remember his first name was Joe, but that's the only thing I remember. And I see to the right in that seat, Chief Leroy Brown. We call him Bad Leroy Brown. I worked for Chief Brown over in Korea at Kunsan. He took over as our squadron's senior enlisted advisor there, about halfway through my tenure at Kunsan, and about close to 6 months after I arrived at Maxwell, Chief Brown got assigned to Maxwell Air Force Base. Now, Chief Brown is also from Shreveport, and when he retired, he and his family resettled in Shreveport or Bossier area. So I see the chief every now and then, I see him every once in a while, here and there, at the gym, at the BX, at the commissary, at the barbershop, So I think that's Chief Brown all the way to the right, but, it may not be, but nonetheless, Chief Brown was there. He was at my retirement ceremony. And it's too bad I couldn't have been at his, but traveling all the way from Shreveport to Montgomery, that's like a 12-hour drive, so that would have been a bit much. Yep, still waiting. Shouldn't be too much longer. Okay, it looks like we're about to get started, I think. People start to sit up straight in their seats now. Yeah, my supervisor, the senior master sergeant, was the superintendent of operations. Yeah, he was an ops superintendent, yeah, of security forces operations. And I was the NCOIC of security. I took in all matters relating to security of the flight line, different weapons areas, that sort of thing. Anything had to do with security itself, not law enforcement, but security. Anyway, commander came in. We're in there right now, and I'm standing next to the commander. That's me, Commander Rex. I can't remember his last name, but Major, it could have been Major Rex. Maybe that was his first name, last name. Can't remember. Too long ago. But anyway, we're being called to attention, and he's reading, I think, a citation for the Meritorious Service Medal or something along those lines. Seems I did a good job of doing something. I can't remember what it was. I think securing something at an airport. Some of the aircraft, they had to be secured. They were on display, and those aircraft belonged to us at the local Montgomery Airport. There, I remember now. Something to do with that. And my supervisor is still reading whatever it is he's reading. So everybody's standing at attention. Look at all military and whatnot. Okay, I guess he got finished. And now, looks like he's reading something else. I'm still at attention, I think. Hard to believe this is 14 years ago. Yeah, a little bit than 14 years ago. Wow. Who knew? I wish I could remember more of the names of these people, but right now I can't. They had a major saying a few words about me. Some nice things, and some funny things. I was acting first sergeant for a while our real first sergeant was at the senior NCO academy. He's a senior master sergeant, I think selectee or something along those lines. So I stood in for him for I think 8 weeks, I believe, while he was at the academy, and it was quite an experience. I was acting first sergeant back in 1992 or 93 at Castle Air Force Base, while our real first sergeant actually was at the academy, at the senior NCO academy. So I stood in for him, so that's where I had that little bit of experience as acting first sergeant. And it was a pretty good experience. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was, a lot of work. You kept busy all the time, and you never knew what was going to happen. Something happened, something different happened every day. You had all kinds of different people problems and issues going on, but it was interesting experience. I gotta say, I guess very seldom a dull moment. So he said a few words about that. He said something about the blind leading the blind. He didn't know what I was supposed to do. I didn't know what I was doing, so we were just kind of figuring it out together. So the commander said, "Yeah, Sergeant Huffman, working as acting first sergeant. It was sort of like he and I working together. It was sort of like the blind leading the blind. But somehow we managed to muddle through it, and we got it done. So that's the important thing. We got done what we needed to get done. And it was a good learning experience. Just like it was back in 92 or 93 when I filled in as acting first sergeant at Castle Air Force Base in California. So here now. Now here's the ironic thing about this squadron, the 42nd SFS, or we used to call Security Police Squadron or Security Forces Squadron. Loring Air Force Base, Maine, was, before it closed, was the 42nd Bomb Wing. Now Maxwell took on the designation that Loring Air Force Base used to have. So it's ironic that I ended up right back at the 42nd Security Police Squadron after all those years, after having left Maine, Loring Air Force Base, Maine, in 1980, at the end of 1988. And I ended up here, or at Maxwell, or there at Maxwell, in 1999, and that's where I finished out my career. It's kind of ironic. At the same designation, the 42nd, the Fighting 42nd. Weird, right? Yeah, I thought so. And it was about 10 years later. That's the crazy part, yeah, about 10 years, yeah, about 10 years later. I ended up at the 42nd again, but at a different place. One was up in the deep north, as far north as you could get. Loring Air Force Base was about 5 miles from the Canadian border. I mean, that's how far north that thing was. It had to be, it was about maybe 60 miles north of Bangor, Maine. No, 150 miles north of Bangor, Maine, or 175 miles, but 60 miles north of where I-95 ended in the United States, believe it or not. Anyway, I think he's reading the citation for the Meritorious Service Medal right now, I believe. And I think the commander is about ready to pin it on me as soon as he gets finished. My supervisor gets finished reading the citation. All in all, I had a pretty good year at Maxwell. All in all, wasn't bad. Not bad. Pretty easy year. You know, had a few ups and downs, a few bumps and bruises along the way, but that's anywhere you go. Yep, getting my medal pinned on me now. That was my first and only Meritorious Service Medal ever received in the Air Force. Ironically, I received it at the end of my career, when it did me absolutely no good. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm not complaining. I mean, hey, that was good. You know, I just had to kind of chuckle at it. I thought it was funny. In the civilian world, none of that meant anything. As I found out when I got into the civilian market, you know, I'd show that to employers or, you know, whatever the case may be, and they had no idea what I was talking about. Now, if I got a government job, you know, on base, in one of those civil service jobs, maybe then it would have meant something, I guess. But in the private civilian sector, it meant nothing at all. And again, like I said, they had no idea what I was talking about. So I thought that was kind of funny. Okay, I guess we're attention to orders for something else. Maybe there's another medal. Maybe a Air Force Commendation Medal. Not 100% sure. Or it could be giving me my walking papers, telling me that, hey, you are now hereby released from active duty, or that might be the citation for something else, I'm not sure. Too far back to remember. Too much stuff. Too many years have gone by. And since the audio portion of the camcorder was not working, it's kind of hard to decipher what was done. Now, Gloria is getting her recognition for being my spouse, even though she wasn't my spouse for the entire career, but at the end of it, that last year in the Air Force she spent with me at Maxwell Air Force Base. I call it our 1-year honeymoon. Yeah, we were out of Shreveport for 1 year. So that was the first time she'd ever lived outside of Shreveport. She'd been here all her life. So that was 1 year she was not in her own home turf. But she made Montgomery a home. She made out pretty well there. She did well in Montgomery. Got a good job at the hospital as an admitting clerk, and you know, worked the graveyard shift most of the time. But it was all good. And she's getting her flowers. I give her a little kiss on the cheek. And at some point, I'll get a chance to say a few words. I'm not going to take up too much time. I remember it was at one retirement ceremony for a master sergeant that retired, and he made sure he spoke for at least an hour or something. He had a big laundry list of things he wanted to say. I mean, it was a long one. And I think he deliberately kept us there just out of spite. I'm not sure what happened with that, but it was kind of funny. Didn't bother me any, but I think he purposely wanted to make sure that he wanted to say everything he wanted to say, and nobody's going to leave until he said it. So that's good. That's good too. And those might be my retirement papers right there. And believe me, we spent one more night there, I think. And I think Gloria had the graveyard shift that night. So we spent one more day. And the day after that, I think by the 26th, we were out of there. I think we spent Christmas there. I'm not sure. I think we did. But I do know that we're back in Shreveport for New Year. And for the New Year Day celebration. I want to make sure we were not there when it turned January 1st. Because we didn't know what was going to happen once again. We were afraid that we might get stuck there if we didn't get out of there before January 1st. So now, me, Mr. Big Mouth, I'm getting ready to do my little spiel. I'm going to crack a few jokes, say a few humorous things, tell a few humorous anecdotes about things that happened during my career. But unlike the other Master Sergeant, I was determined not to make it a real long, drawn-out thing. Because I wasn't mad at anybody. I mean, there was no spite here. I had a good time. It was cool. It was all good. And I had to give props to my supervisor, Senior Master Sergeant, what's his name? We'll just say Joe. And, the Chief Brown, of course. Yeah, we had a lot of good times over in Korea, over at Kunsan, working with Chief Brown. and working for Chief Brown there. That was always a pleasure. Chief Brown, good man, good man. And I'm giving a shout out to some of the different people there. Saying something humorous, got them cracking up. Well, at least I'm cracking up, one or the other. And, yeah, Sergeant Quarles. He was our sponsor, so I gave him a shout out. So that's good. Now, at that time, I had no idea what I was going to do. Once I got back into the civilian job market, I had no idea where was, what was going to happen. I mean, I was happy to get out of there. I was happy to retire, get out of there, and start my new life. But I was scared to death about what was going to happen in the future because I had no clue what the future held in store. What it was going to be like to be a civilian again after all those years. I didn't know where I was going to fit in at. All I knew that it was time to go. I couldn't stay there anymore. I mean, you get to that point where you see the handwriting on the wall, and the Air Force is telling you, even though I could have done a few more years, the handwriting on the wall is telling you that it's time to go. Time to let it go. Just go. Don't go away mad. Just go away. So, a year before that day, I put in my retirement papers because you got to wait about a year before you can actually retire. You put in your papers, and then you wait a year, and then your retirement becomes effective. Now, even though I had the ceremony on the 23rd of December, my retirement was not effective until the 1st of February of the year 2000. And by then, I was already gainfully employed in my civilian job. My first civilian job out of the Air Force was at CenturyTel, as a matter of fact, the cell phone company. That's a job I stumbled upon just by accident. And at the call center on Bert Coons here in Shreveport. And I ended up remaining at that place for 10 years, believe it or not. 10 years. Yeah, 10 years and 3 months or something like that. So that was interesting. And like I said, I feel like I lucked out. I was blessed that I found a job not too much longer after I got out of there. I think sometime, toward maybe the middle or toward the end of January, maybe the 20th of January, I started with the Snelling Temp Company, who had a contract with CenturyTel. So I worked for Snelling, working for CenturyTel, kind of like. In other words, CenturyTel would pay Snelling, and then Snelling would pay me, sort of. So, yeah, it was like that. And then in April, I think about the 3rd or 4th of April of the year 2000, CenturyTel hired me on full-time, permanent employee, working directly for them. So then Snelling was out of the picture. So I think I had to remain on the Snelling for at least 90 days, maybe 120 days. I'm not sure how it went. But nonetheless, that's what happened. But at that time, during the ceremony, I'm laughing and joking, having a good time. But inside, I'm really apprehensive about the future, not knowing what was in store or what I was going to do. I knew I still had to work and make money. Bills to pay, all kinds of different things we had to get done. So I had to get somewhere. Some way, somehow. I just didn't know how or where. They gave us some pretty good tools to use at the TAPS briefing on the way out. That's the Transitional Assistance Program. We call it TAPS. And so, I had some places where I could start looking. when we got back to Shreveport. And I was anxious to get back to work. I wanted to get to work. I didn't want to sit around, vegging out. Didn't want to do that. Gloria told me I could take a month or whatever off and just kind of chill out. After working steadily like that for the last 22 years. But yeah, I didn't want to do that. What I wanted to do was jump into some kind of civilian job as soon as possible. I didn't want that to delay. So I wanted to make sure I got the first good job that came along. And it wasn't a century job. It wasn't a great job, but it wasn't bad either. And after a certain amount of time, I started making money there. I mean, some fairly good money. Not great money, but it was fairly, fairly good money. So, no complaints. I had a good run there. Can't complain about it. I feel like I was blessed. Just like with the Air Force, there were good days and bad days. But, you take the good with the bad. All right, come on, blabbermouth. Let's not keep these people too long. Let's wrap it up. I'm sure some people still got some Christmas shopping they got to get finished up, and they don't want to sit there all day listening to me blab on about my illustrious career. I tried not to bore them, so I try to inject a certain amount of humor in there. Hopefully I did a good job of that. Saw a couple of people still chuckling. And I don't think I put them to sleep yet. All right, come on, Chuck. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up, buddy. I'm watching myself and you're starting to bore me now. Come on. Let's wrap it up, bud. Wrap it up. A lot of hand gesturing there. What am I, Italian or something or other? Oh, with the hand gestures? What's that all about? I know in Italy when I was there, the Italian people did a lot of gesturing with their hands. It was kind of like a traditional thing, like a cultural thing. They talk with their hands. And I think that's what I'm doing, talking with my hands. Okay, Chuck. Let's wrap it up, buddy. Let's wrap it up. Yeah, we're not going to do like that other master sergeant. Hold these people for 2 hours like that. That just wasn't right. It was funny, but it wasn't right. Okay, yeah, all right. I think we are wrapping it up now. All right. Hey, got my little standing O. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm good. See, that doesn't take too long. Not too long. Oh, and here's the chaplain. She wants to say a couple words, I guess. Oh, I think we're saying a little prayer now. Okay, good, like a benediction. Okay, that's a good thing. Okay. Alright, nice ceremony. Now it's time to get to the eats. I think I'm getting hungry now. This might be when the commander's telling me that I'm now hereby released from active duty in the United States Air Force after serving your country honorably and faithfully for 21 years and 9 months and whatever amount of days. And gave my new bride a little kiss on the cheek. At that particular time, we've been married for almost a year. Hadn't been a year yet. We're about maybe a month shy of a year. And so we're still fairly newlyweds. Yeah, my friends and co-workers, whose names I can't remember off the top of my head. But these are people I was with for that entire year. And it was a good year, once again. I have no complaints about it. It was a good year. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a good ceremony. Good way to leave. Leave on a positive note. Yeah, it was kind of bittersweet. You know, I was anxious to get out of there, but at the same time, it's what I knew, and I was afraid. I did want to leave, but at the same time, I didn't want to leave. I don't know. You can feel both ways at the same time. I don't know if you can do that, but I think that's how it felt. And now we got the meet and greet, you know, people coming up, you know, saying congratulations and good luck, best of luck in your future endeavors. felt good to have my wife there by my side. That was good. That was a good thing. Yeah, there's my ultra super conservative buddy right there at the bald head. Wonder whatever became of him. I wonder if he's working for Fox News right now. I don't know. He's a good dude. Good dude. I know wherever he might be, he's giving all the tree-hugging liberals the devil. You must be one of the tree-hugging liberals. Come here, you. Yeah, that's good, though. That's good. Like I said, he's a good dude. So now we're going to have to get the camera and reposition it into the other room where all the food is. Because now it's time to chow down. And my stomach is about growling, and I'm ready to get in and throw down on some of those hors d'oeuvres, or whatever it is they got back there. I'm ready to get it started. We've got about 7 more minutes of video to go, so we should be wrapping it up here in just a little bit. Well, I gotta say, it was fun looking back on this and sharing it with all of you who are watching and listening to this right now. That was an important day. It's sort of like the day when you graduated from high school, or graduated from college, or you got married, or like milestones in your life. And this day was one of those milestones. A lot more pleasant than my first day in the Air Force, of course. When we got off that bus at San Antonio that day, at the induction center, you got that little sweet voice from heaven coming down there. All right, all you. I can't say the word because this is a family show, so I don't want to say all the cuss words that the drill instructor or the training instructor was saying. He said, "You got 10 seconds to get up off this bus, and God help the last one off." And it was outside. In formation. All right, get in line. You're at attention. All right, those bags, put them down. Pick them up, put them down. And so, I mean, hey, it was 6 weeks of hell from there. So that first day, the 6th or the 17th of May of 1978, until that day, the 23rd of December of 1999. It's been an interesting journey. Believe me, it's been interesting. Some really good days and some really bad days. Now, I should be coming back there in a few minutes to collect the camera and set it up in the other room. I think we did, yeah. So now we're in the other room. We're there now. They have a cake and the people gathering around, the well-wishers, friends and co-workers, the commander was over there. Oh yeah, look at that. Hey, I'm ready to dig in, man. Come on. Let's get this started. Let's get it done. Because the brother here is hungry. And they're over there laughing at me now. I must have said something funny. I don't know what I did. Probably laughing at me, throwing them down with that food. They're trying to get that one last glimpse of everybody. Yeah, they're waving at the camera. Yeah, it was a happy day. Happy day. I know I was happy. My long journey was about to come to an end that day, so that was a happy day for me. And sad at the same time. Again, like I said, it was bittersweet. I was happy and sad both at the same time. Now I'm cutting the cake. Alright. Let's get this done, fellas. Let's get this done. Come on, big fella. Cut that cake. Alright, we got about maybe another couple of minutes of video left. And I'm going to have to say goodbye to all of you out there in watching and listening land. Anybody who's watching this video right now. Once again, I apologize for the audio portion not working, but we did the best we could with what we had. I wish I'd invested in a modern day updated camcorder while it was there, but it was just too darn cheap. And I wish I had now, because this would have been a good thing to catch. And with the audio and everything like that. But, you know, I think we did pretty well with what we had. Not too bad. I can't complain. Once again. Sometimes you just got to work what you got. And as the kids like to say, it is what it is. We had a good time that day. At that time, I was 48 years old, or actually 47 years old. And the end. Okay, thanks for watching. Love you, and have a great day. Have a great Air Force Day. Thank you for sharing. Chuck Huffman, signing off. This has been another Chuck Huffman production. Arr!